Let's go. Yo.
Question: what do you get when you put together 50 players, roleplay, and Minecraft realms?
The answer is, you get the 8-bit SMP.
The biggest Minecraft Bedrock role-playing server to date. Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Sorry it took this long to get this thing out, but hey, we wanted it to look at least decent enough for you guys to understand what's happened in the past. So here is episode 1 of 8-bit SMP recap series. So you're probably wondering, Zach, why the heck should I give a crap about what's happened in the past or all that kind of thing? Well, it's going to be kind of hard to understand how the heck World War I is happening with the current political standing of 15 to 30 different countries on 8-bit. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to understand without seeing what's happened in the past and people's motives. Anyway, how this series will work, we'll be dividing each of the eras into a singular episode and then putting each of the eras into decades, and those will be put out as longer episodes known as movies after the original episodes are already released. So it should look a little something like this. Yeah, so era beginnings, UDN era, resistance era, Illager era, Armada era, and then the intermission era, and then Soviet era. In today's video, we will be recapping the era of beginnings, mainly because it's the first thing that I feel like we should be covering, because it's the first thing that ever happened on the server, and also because it's I feel like it's the thing people want me to recap the most, because little to no one was on at this point in time. I think like 4 or 5 players were playing on 8-bit at this point in time. Now, before we start the recapping, I would like to bring up a couple things that I feel are important, such as the main rule set and base rules of 8-bit SMP that make it different than normal survival Minecraft. The main 3 I would like to bring up are that each player has 3 canon lives, this meaning if a player kills another player, they lose a canon life. Once you lose all 3 canon lives, you can start playing as an alternate character, which is pretty much your same account, but identifying as another character in the lore of 8-bit. The other 2 main ones are that each continent is claimable with a god weapon found in that continent. At least that was what it was for the first 2 eras, and people kind of moved on from that rule after that. And then the last rule kind of has to do with both of the first 2 rules. All but 1 canon life, you can use a resurrection stone if you find it to get all your canon lives back. And then the other one is that each god weapon has a special power. Sword of Health, for instance, will let you gain resurrection stones by merely wielding it. I think it's about time we begin, so let's get right into this. If you guys enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe. Plus click the bell button to be notified the next time we post a new video. Also, if you guys enjoy, consider sharing the video. And also, we are live on Twitch on the server and on other stuff, as you're seeing right now. This is footage from our Taking Over Lifeboat series, which I plan on doing more of. You can check us out on Twitch at Rare Adventure Gaming. It's literally the channel title, but no capital letters and no spaces. So yeah. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So about 4 years ago to the day, I started 8-bit SMP, which is technically 38 in-game years ago, but we'll get to that later. This current image on 8-bit is from 1038 in-game years ago, which is about 1000 years before what we like to call on 8-bit the Great Fire. And here's what the Great Fire did, pretty much in a nutshell. After the Great Fire, only 2 countries remained in Map 4, those being the Dragon Republic and Jordan. In the Dragon Republic on the continent of Mid-Earth, Dragonfire wakes up in a crater of one of the houses. He searches around, and he doesn't really remember anything. All he remembers is that he's the president of a country called the Dragon Republic, and that's where he is. He continues looking for survivors, but let's just say he doesn't really find any. Until he goes in a golden pyramid and finds a survivor who's actually vice president at the time, X-Mabadu-Dex. A couple hours later, X-Mabadu-Dex is called up by Dragonfire to go ahead and go on a mission. That mission was to go ahead and see if there's any other survivors of the Great Fire, which at this point in time seemed very unlikely. While X-Mabadu-Dex was searching, Dragonfire went looking around and he found Mid-Earth's god weapon. This thing is the Staff of the Undead. This thing's crazy. Literally, if you lose all 3 of your canon lives, this thing can bring you back to life, but pretty much make you a slave of whoever resurrected you. On the continent of Jordan, Zach 2000 Luger von Walder, the leader of Jordai, and the only survivor of the Great Fire on the continent of Jord, that is a intelligent being anyway, I mean these villagers aren't very intelligent, begins building a wall around his village after finding the god weapon core in his village. As he continues building, a visitor arrives. It was actually Dragonfire who had taken a boat south to look for survivors. The two signed a defense pact for if one of their countries would be invaded, the other would come to defend them. This alliance would come to be known as the Jordai Dragon Defense Pact. Meanwhile, on the continent of Copenhagen, X arrives, hoping to find survivors. But as always, that doesn't really turn out so well. He searches the houses of a long-forgotten kingdom, only to find a chest filled with an enchanted netherite sword, that being the god weapon of this continent. X, being a little bit cocky now, decides to go check out the abandoned castle, and find some decent loot in there. X goes mining for a bit, just to find resources. Little does he know what he's really just stumbled upon. He begins digging up the remains of what seems to be an ancient human being. He mines around it, and it begins moving. But to everybody's surprise, he actually befriends the thing, and it calls itself Ninja Mewtwo. He actually makes it second in command of the colony on Copenhagen. A couple hours later, Ninja Mewtwo 10 and X were building a port when X had a game-changing idea. As they both headed towards the castle, neither of them knew what they had just begun. X and Ninja Mewtwo had just declared their independence from the Dragon Republic. That next morning, X sends Ninja Mewtwo to go looking for more land for their new country, the Coop Empire. While Ninja Mewtwo is gone, X heads back to his homeland to speak with Dragonfire about his independence. But let's just say that didn't turn out so well. With Jordai and Dragon Republic now declaring war on Coop Empire, X tries to head south to attack Zack. But before he could get there, Dragonfire intercepted him and started attacking. The battle raged on for around 20 minutes until Dragonfire got the upper hand, and yeah. After the battle is known as the Deal of Death on the Ironclad, X was down to his last life. Taking this to their advantage, Zack and Dragonfire went and conquered the continents known as Sanghelios and the continent of Hilgendorf, gaining each of their god weapons. And after Ninja Mewtwo conquered Ultron, it looked like the Coop Empire was actually starting to get a hold, but not if Zack and Dragonfire had at all anything to say about it. As Zack and Dragonfire closed in on the Coop Empire's capital, they began looking for X specifically so they could take his last life and resurrect him with the stuff of the undead. But they couldn't find him right away, so they started looking in the chest in the main castle. Suddenly, Zack and Dragonfire turned around to see Ninja Mewtwo. They began to fight, but they realized pretty quickly he was wearing enchanted netherite god armor, and they realized pretty fast, yeah, they didn't really stand a chance. So, as Zack began to lose most of his hearts, he began to run away, and Ninja Mewtwo began chasing him. As Zack got in a boat, and Dragonfire got in behind him, Ninja Mewtwo began chasing after them again, but this time, he began chasing them on boat. He chased them to a small island owned by Zack at the south of the map. Zack and Dragonfire buried themselves underground by mining themselves in, thinking that they'd be safe. Little do they know, Ninja Mewtwo almost finds them immediately and begins fighting. He chows down a golden apple, and since then, yeah, it was over. He kills Zack and then kills Dragonfire afterwards. After losing that battle and 2 of their lives, Zack and Dragonfire realized the war wasn't worth it, and they surrendered. Also signing the Kupo Accords, which created the first war crime on the server, which, as you guys can see here, explains what the Kupo Accords is. I'm not going to say it because it's going to take too long, but you guys get the point. As Zack and Dragonfire signed the contract, they also signed away their rights to having rights to their countries, handing over all of their land, except Zack not giving Sanghelios to Coop Empire. Signed away over all of their land to Coop Empire, with them also joining Coop Empire in the progress. Oh yeah, and then Ninja Mewtwo overthrew the entire country and created the Ninja Mewtwo Empire and banished X to Ultron.
you serious?
Yep, pretty much.
I knew that was coming.
Anyway, guys, I think that's going to be about it for today's video. So I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. The next video will be coming out soon. Also, check us out at Twitch at Red Adventure Gaming, as I pointed out earlier in today's video. And other than that, thank you guys for watching. You guys can check out our main channel at Red Productions. I think it's under our subscriptions. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.